Today on Primetime Local News, I'm joined by Antonius Petro, who is the co-director of Regeneration Canada. Now, Antonius, farmers know that soil regeneration is, of course, very important, but could you speak to me as why soil regeneration is so important?
We need to remind ourselves that our existence, the humanity existence, really depends on the first couple of inches of our topsoil. So, as you just said, not only food production and food security, but everything from medicine and clothing and to climate change and mitigation and adaptation. So when we think about the soil, it's really that very rich ecosystem, the most diverse ecosystem on Earth, that is very important to mitigate climate change. Everything that we've been seeing lately in Canada, from flood, from drought, and the loss of biodiversity, everything could be restored and mitigated when we take care of our soil. So beyond farming, I think everybody should really take care of soil, whether it be on our garden, in our backyard, the soil in our forest, our peatland, and all our wetland, and also in our cropland and grazing. So food production, climate change mitigation and adaptation, and that all really lead to improving the human health, because we are what we eat, and what we eat comes from our soil. So whatever is found in our soil goes up to the plant, to the animal, and then to human. So it is the thing that we should all be talking about right now.
And I know there are, soil maintenance tricks or tools that farmers do use, such as, crop rotations, no-till, things like that. Do you maybe have some other tools that farmers could use to help maintain their soil?
Yeah, so regenerative agriculture, provide, principles and practices for land steward and farmer and ranchers to regenerate the health of their soil, and also to enhance the economic viability and profitability of a farm, and along the line increasing biodiversity, increasing carbon sequestration, improving water quality, improving the physical and chemical property of their soil. But we need to understand that it's all very place and context based. So the first thing that our lots of pioneer farmers and ranchers across the country are doing is to think about regenerative agriculture as a set of principles and practices that should be adapted to the farm context. And this context, it's not only about the biophysical side of it, but also the human side of it. Where are we at now? What do we need? Because at the end of the day, a farmer and rancher's job is to provide to their family. So we need to think of this as a very unique and promising solution, but always needs adaptation. The very first step is to understand the context and the history of the land to avoid working against nature. And now there are principles to regenerate the soil, going from minimizing the soil disturbances. So we're talking here about no-till or low-till, or a mix of all of that. Keeping the soil cover. A naked soil is a huge risk environmentally and economically. Keeping living roots. So always have something growing throughout the year. And again, even in our weather, there is lots of farmers and ranchers that are keeping living roots throughout the year, even during winter. And there is also integrating animals. And I'm not here talking about only livestock, but any kind of animal that we, for the past few decades, excluded them from our ecosystem. We need to invite them back. So enhancing the biodiversity in the soil would also enhance the biodiversity above the soil, bringing all the beneficial insects and also the ruminant that had been, especially in the prairies, that have been part of our ecosystem for many years. So we need to bring them with the right methodology. We can do this in a way that regenerate the health of our soil.
Absolutely. Antonius, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.